Everyone, Brett here, altitude scale modeling. Got something here today, priority mail from Sprue Brothers. I took the label off because my address was on it, and I don't want some of you people just thinking you can come up here to high altitude and then sue me when you can't breathe very well. So this way it prevents you from, thinking it's my fault when you come up here. Anyway, if you've seen the title of the video, you already know what's in this box, but thought I'd just open it. As far as I know, the only place I've seen this kit is Sprue Brothers. And I've waited a long time for this to come out. Here it is. Hot, fresh, and delicious. Now, I know what you're going to say. Kitty Hawk. SU-34, didn't Hobby Boss do one? Yes, they did, and I'm going to do a side-by-side sprue review in a couple of days. Waited for this for a while. It was $87.99, which was $20 less than the Hobby Boss kit. The box is about half the size of the Hobby Boss kit. There's the schemes you can do. The lovely yellow primer scheme. I'm going to do the eggplant. 4 different marking options. Great box art. That's it all the way around, nothing on the back. You know, everyone makes fun of Kitty Hawk. Let's see what this one looks like. The smell of fresh plastic. So, beautiful color instructions. Ooh, look at the engine nozzles. I wonder if those are resin or plastic. We'll find out. Clear parts. Fuselage. One-piece intakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sprues. Plus the fuselage parts. Plus the decals. So, zoom on in here. Turn on another light. Start with some fuselage halves. Sorry, I'm getting a weird shadow. There we go. Alright, where'd I put the knife? I haven't even seen this at Lucky Models yet in Japan or any of my other Japanese places. Top of fuselage. Nicely detailed. 2018 markings. Supposedly this was delayed because they were fixing some of the issues with it. Right off the bat, looks really nice. Good plastic, a little bit of flash right there. But look here. I'm thinking these are the speed brakes. These are engine covers. But they detailed the inside of those too. So you can cut them out. You'll have detail on both sides. It's a nice little thought. Good thinking on their part. Good crisp plastic. Ejector pin marks you'll have to cut off here, here, here. At least they didn't cut them too close. A little bit of flash there, a little bit of flash here. Typical Kitty Hawk. Turn it over. Again, really good detail. Ejector pin mark points you'll have to clear out. Attachment points, sorry. But, nice recessed panel liner rivet detail all the way through. Same on this one. Very good detail. And not going to be able to put them together because of certain ejector pin placement. But wing section fits okay, tail section fits okay. Again, I'm not going to really be able to put it together until I clean up these ejector attachment points. Nicely under there. Big old aircraft. So, this out of the way. Back in the bag. Now, I'm going with this one next. And here, hold that thought while I move over here. Talks amongst yourselves. I'm not going to do the sprue comparison now, but here's a Hobby Boss kit. I want to look at the nose. Because the nose was a touchy point. Well, the Hobby Boss kit. Oh, that's why I can't find it. Because it's attached to the fuselage. Alright. First, let's take this out. Okay. This is twisted like that. There is the nose cone from the Kitty Hawk kit. Now, if I can find a tool. Where'd all my tools go? That won't work. There we go. Okay. This was the nose, or is the nose of the Hobby Boss kit. This is the nose of the Kitty Hawk kit. Again, it goes this way. No, I didn't plan this part very well. Well, we're just going to do it like this. So, is there a difference? Is one right? Is one wrong? Kitty Hawk one curves up a little more on the end. It's got a little more curvature on this part here. I guess that's a decision that's going to have to be made by brains bigger than mine. Looks like an SU-34. Must be an SU-34. But you can see this one's got the wings attached. The detail on this doesn't seem as... Anyway, we'll do that another time. Just wanted to check out the nose cones, because that was a sore spot for some people on the Hobby Boss kit. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program. Cockpit floor looks really nice. A couple of good bulkheads. These are the elevators, the tail planes, the sidewalls. Two, I'd say the landing gear bays. Very fine detailed parts. I mean, the parts look good. The detail looks good. The riveting looks good. The nose cone. And if you don't like it, there's a resin replacement for the Hobby Boss kit, so I'm sure there'll be one for this one if it's needed. But it was back in here, so we'll put that back. Nice bulkhead detail. Nice floor detail for the cockpit. Bulkheads. I'm thinking this is the stinger part of the rear of the aircraft. The tails, one-piece tails, so you don't have to worry about seam lines on those. Movable rudders. Good detail inside the panels of the landing gear bays. Landing gear doors, nice detail inside of those. And good fine detail, no burring, no flash on this sprue like there was on the fuselage. So, looking good so far. And next, let's do us some intakes. So, we've got the intakes, seamless one-piece intakes. Sidewall, that's the instrument panel. So I'm guessing there's decals for that. Very fine detail for some hosing or wiring or something. Looks like the front landing gear strut. Landing gear doors, I'm thinking. Nice, good detail throughout on both sides. These, if they need to be open, have very big ejector pin marks in them. The intakes have ejector pin marks in them. So, depending on how much you're going to see, you can see those ejector pin marks in there. And then the fine detailing. There's no burring on these parts, no flash on these parts. These look like they were molded really well, put together really well. These, I'm thinking, are the bottoms of the intakes, or the sides of the fuselage. We'll have to see the instructions to find out, but the detailing on the intakes, again, very fine rivet detailing. Then these parts here, which go here, very fine detailing on those. So the plastic's looking good. I've never built a Kitty Hawk kit. This will probably be my first. I love this aircraft. I haven't built the Hobby Boss one yet because I was waiting for this one to come out. Working flaps. The Hobby Boss kit has metal parts that slide in the main landing gear, and the way these look, I think they do too. Metal cores that go inside to give strength in it, because they're hollow on the inside, which is unusual for most landing gear. I could be wrong. All these ejector pin marks are flush and lowered, so just check them out, do test fitting to make sure there's not a problem. These flaps are one piece. Good detail. Same with the wings. I think the detail is a little crisper on this than the Hobby Boss one. But as far as I know, detail was never Kitty Hawk's problem. It was the assembly process that people seem to complain about. Again, I have not built a Kitty Hawk kit, so I'm not going to complain about it. This bag has 2 sprues. It's got full engine detail. It's been so long since I've done that Hobby Boss review, I don't know if it does or not. So we're going to just take one of these out carefully because it does look like it has some very fine detail parts right through here, some hoses. Nice engine detail though. Pylons. There's no weight on wheels, unfortunately. This looks like the gun, maybe. Part of the ejector seats. Afterburner ring, first compressor stage fan. That's pretty sharp. There's some nice cushion detail on the seat. These engine details are really nice. And same with this afterburner ring. There's no flash on it. Oh, I'm wrong. There's a little bit of flash right here. Is that on both of them? Yep, that's on both of them. But the details are really good. Especially that engine detail. I'm liking it a lot. Now, one thing I did notice on this one here, this afterburner ring is cracked right there. So I might contact them to give me a replacement. I might not. It's just going to take a little glue to fix it. Let's see on my mood when I go to build it. Next, 2 sprues of weapons. Now, supposedly the reason Hobby Boss, these are matching sprues, Hobby Boss costs so much with all the weapons. This looks like it has the same amount of weapons, and it's $20 cheaper on initial release. And I could probably find it cheaper if I'd have waited around to get it. But all the nice big Russian weapons, these parts, the nose cone of the rocket is hollow, so you don't have to drill that out. Good detail on the weapons. Tells you what the weapons are: FAB 250s, Mark 5, Mark 62, KH-35, KH-23. That's a nice touch because I know nothing about Russian weapons. The fins are one single piece with great detail, rivet and panel line detail. Sorry, an F-16 just flew over it. Caught me off guard. Again, the rocket parts, open ends. So, 2 of those. And another bag of weapons. Again, matching sprues. The Kitty Hawk is releasing a weapon set by itself, a Russian weapon set. It's probably going to have all this stuff in it. But again, the weapons look nice. It tells you what they are. KH-31, KH... So I'm reading it upside down too. KH-58, ME. All the names of the weapons. Here we have another rocket tube with you can see through that it's hollowed out except for the 5 on the tip. No flash, no burring on the rounded parts, which a little bit there are on this sprue. But again, you see some very good rocket weapon detail. Big weapons, big missiles there. These KH-58s and KH-31s, some big missiles. So, 2 sprues of those. And 1 more bag of weapons. So like the Hobby Boss one, there's as many weapon sprues as there are aircraft sprues. More rockets, more attachment points, pylons, and we got here, so I won't try and read upside down, R60s, and even the names of the pylons, APU-73, R-73s, bunch of bombs, another rocket pod with hollowed out rocket tubes, the brakes on one of the bombs, which is the R-77. So you've got yourself plenty of Russian weapons. So you're gonna not need to have to buy the Kitty Hawk weapons set. Now, nozzles. Are these resin? Are these plastic? Are these taped shut? Yes, they are. Both sides. These are resin. So you've got closed resin nozzles, open resin nozzles. Very nice detail. Look at one of each. Ah. Yep. Has a nice touch on their part. I'm pretty sure that this doesn't have thrust vectoring nozzles like the SU-35 and 27, so they don't need to be like those. Has a nice touch. Clear parts. And as you know, the canopy on this does not open. But the clear parts, the detailing, very nice. Very clear, very crisp, no center seam because there's a center right there with the rivets. Both sides, then the heads-up display and a couple of lights. Very good clear parts. Alright. Let's look at some decals and some photo etch. These are in a Ziploc bag. Oops. Okay. You've got instrument panel decals, which are in the on position, and a couple of markings. Oops, sorry. On camera would help. You've got Russian markings that are very nice. And these are all, you see that, there's no carrier film in the middle like on some walkway decals. Even in between the 0, there's no carrier film, but these two are connected, the 0 and the 3, and there's none in there. Good job for that. And we've got all our stencil data for the weapons. Lots of weapon data, and it tells you which, okay, those for KH-23, those are for the R-60. I'm thinking these are stencil data for the aircraft, because there's not, same with some of this here. You've got inert markings. And then this has got plastic on both sides, so we're not going to open it, but it's very, very thin photo etch. Harnesses, vents, looks like for the chaff buckets, another vent, rails for the wings, I would think. Not sure what those are. Okay, now we have the instruction book. SU-34 Fullback. We start out Sprue map, B, C, D, E2, F2. Then the fuselage halves, and the weapons, the photo etch, the decals, the resin parts. No color callouts on those pages. Start with the engine. Like I said, very nice detailed engine, and you can open those hatches that I showed you. Close that back up, then it becomes a booklet. Ejector seat, and it tells you the color as long as it gives you, actually that's the part number, so it tells you what color you need. Let me check back here. Yeah, I still don't see any color callouts. So you're starting with the cockpit, side-by-side seating. Tells you how to paint it. Then you're putting in the gun and the gun bay. And then you're putting together the wheel bays. Putting those in. Front wheel bay, it's going in. Parts for the engines and compressor blades and the engines themselves going in. Landing gear, main landing gear bays and cockpit going in. Fuselage halves going together with the canards, heads-up display, which got some PE and some clear parts. The nose, and you actually have the radar in the nose of this one. Don't know why, because you can't display it open, or maybe you can. Then you've got the tails and the sides of the tails. You've got the resins parts for going on to, me no speak good English, onto the back of the engine nozzles. Then, like I said, that stinger parachute part, and that's where some of the venting goes. It's PE, and you've got to bend it. Then you're putting on the engine nozzles, the stinger on the back, the glass part, a little tubes and vents and antennas and rudders, and here's the intakes with another PE part there, and it doesn't come with FOD covers. So you are going to need to either make your own FOD covers or clean up those ejector pin marks inside the intakes. Lots of PE going on those. Attaching the intakes, which goes straight back to the engines because we saw those going in. More little bits, parts, antennas. Then the wings with the workable flaps. Not workable, but positionable flaps. There's that metal rail that's F1. Doesn't say it's a PE part though. And there's the other wing. Then putting the wings on, the elevators on. Then you're putting together the landing gear, which is some hefty landing gear, and there are not metal parts for that. They're just hollow on the inside. Not sure why they're hollow on the inside. And they're two-piece too, so you're going to have to clean up a seam. They weren't thinking very good with that one. I'm not sure if the Hobby Boss ones are two-piece. Front landing gear, FOD cover, the all the parts to keep debris from flying up into the intake and such. Attaching the landing gear. Fortunately, you can do that at the end, so you can paint it all whatever color you're going to paint it. And then pylons, gear doors, actuators. In the middle of this book are the color callouts. So since we're here, this red 03, you need to have silver on the fronts of the elevators. The engine color detail, it's really nice. White for the inside of the weapons bays. There's a refueling probe, open. Then you've got the eggplant one, which I'm going to do. And this is red 22. So blue on the bottom, eggplant on top. Still got the silver tips there. Then you've got Russian Aero Defense Force SU-34 red 02, which I'm guessing is the same camouflage scheme. Yep, just different markings. And then you've got the primered one, which is just yellow according to this, C313, so those are Mr. Hobby color callouts. C8 and C313 are Mr. Hobby. And then we're back to, what's this? Little parts and doors going on. And then pylons going on. Ends of the wingtips. Putting weapons together, whichever weapons you choose to use. So you're going to have a lot of weapon instructions. And since you're not going to use them all, you shouldn't have to put them all together. Unless you're really bored one night and just want to put weapons together. There's like 8 pages. I like those. 9 pages of weapons, and then the carry out the load. So if you put those on the tips of the wings, they get our 73s. And let's see. Yep, our 73s. So you have to decide which weapons layouts you're going to use. Oh, there's another page of weapons layouts. You can just keep going and going. Color callouts for the weapons. I like the red tip ones. These look like gun pods. And then on this side, more color callouts for the weapons. Like I said, I like these. These. I like big hefty weapons. This is a big hefty Russian aircraft. Wow, and that's it. And I still didn't see color callouts in here. Let's look again. Because if you're going to say C-324, you should let people know that those are Mr. Hobby. Check the box. No, I don't see color callouts on here anywhere. Did I miss it? Someone help me out. Did I miss it? Did I, huh? Did I? Not in the box. On the instructions. Not on the color callouts. Look, they're using FS numbers there. So FS numbers and Mr. Hobby, not color callout numbers. Nothing on there. Oh well. So, there you have it. Here you go. A quick sample of what to expect from the side-by-side. Well, they overlay each other perfectly. Which, if you saw my P61 comparison, that didn't happen. Oh yeah, lines up right with the nose. It's up right with the rear end. The detail just looks a little... there's rivet detail, but it's not as pronounced, so I don't know if one's right and one's wrong. But they both have rivet detail. This is just, will probably hold a wash better because it's deeper. But overlay is fine. This has got closed ends for the engine because it doesn't have engines, and this one does have engines. But all the panels line up the same pretty much. This has got 2 access hatches, this has got 1. But they both have the 3 small ones. And again, line it up with the nose, line it up with the tail. Engine parts line up, everything lines up fine. So scale-wise, they're both spot on to each other. Okay, that's where we're going to stop with this comparison. We'll get more in-depth in the next one. So, finally available, at least at Sprue Brothers. Excuse me. SU-34 Fullback. I love the look of this plane. I might move this up on the build schedule after, maybe after the Tomcat. We'll see. But there you go. Finally available in stores. Kitty Hawk SU-34 Fullback. I'd say just give it a shot. No reason not to unless you absolutely despise Kitty Hawk, and that's your fault. I'm going to give it a try, and I'll let you know the outcome. Stay tuned for the Sprue comparison in the next few days. Thanks for watching. Go out there and buy yourself something special. Good price, good kit. Box is half the size, with the same amount of parts. Thanks for watching.